Okay, I'm back again, Steve here. And this little porch I did is just a picture, but this is all done manually. And I thought I'd just follow up on my little porch video series here and show you how you can do this manually. The nice thing about it is it gives you the ability to put these columns exactly where you want them. And so let's take a look and see how we do this. I'll move this off to the side here. Here's my little house. And I am going to use a room divider wall, and this wall is just 1 inch wide. And on the structure tab, I'm going to make it a bearing wall so the foundation builds there. And one more thing about this, I am not going to offset the foundation. I'm just going to build it right under it. So we'll start with that. Drag it out, create our room, which will be a porch. It probably is already labeled as a porch because I've been doing this, yeah. But you would want to pick porch, make it -4 or whatever you normally would make it here, and you got your concrete floor. And if you look at that, you should have a room basically. There you go. So that's a start, and let's dimension this and get it where we want it. I use the end-to-end dimension there. I'm going to make this 96, make this 96, and we will make this 22. Get rid of these. I'm getting good at this because I've done so many videos. The next thing we want to do is build our foundation, and it'll build right underneath our invisible wall. So right to where the porch ceiling goes, everything's right there. And we can take my edge molding. Let's see here. Hello. Here we go. Okay. Moldings. Sorry, folks. Just too much junk in here. Right here. Okay. And then use a molding line. And just drag it out. Oops. There we go. And start on the general tab, make that 0. Go to the moldings tab, -4, so it lines up to the top. And you can change your material right here because it'll come in as your standard molding. Just make it concrete. And then just drag it back to the face of this invisible wall. And take a look. You'll see you've got a foundation with an edge on it. And if we want to, while we're doing this, go down here and just change these 3 walls to pony walls. Choose my brick here. Maybe make this 16 or something so it's low enough. And go up here. There you go. So you got a nice porch coming along. Now you need columns. So I have this column that's right out of the catalog, really. Column classic solid round. And the only thing I've done here is change the CAD block because it just comes in as a square. So I've changed it, but it's basically the same as that. So I'm going to put it using point to point right to the back edge of this molding here. And I'm going to slide it over and maybe keep it off the wall here. I don't know, 2 inches, say, to the base. And then I'm going to copy and reflect around this door and put another one right there. And then I am going to copy and reflect about on the porch here. Put one right down here. It didn't come in exactly where I want it, so using point to point, just push it right to the back side there. And I'm going to draw a center line on that one, and just in case I need it. But I'm going to reflect this one on the porch here, and it went in the right place. Then I'm going to copy this and just move it and do the same thing, maybe make it 2 inches here. And so if we wanted some more columns right along the front here, I would just use multiple copy here. Maybe put 3. And we don't need that one, so I'm just going to delete it. And let's just take a look. Oh, of course, they're the wrong height, so I'm going to delete these. Let's get it to the right height first, and then we'll fix these columns. And that's a pretty common problem because I always forget to do that. But the ceiling is 109.125, 109 1/8. And the because the porch room, and then I'm going to have a 12-inch beam, so I'm going to say -12, so 97 1/8. All right, and now I can copy these. 1, point to point, move this over. Copy and reflect around the door. And then multiple copy here. Delete that one, we don't need it. I'll reflect it, copy and reflect around right here. Copy this one, pull it over, make it 2 inches. And then we need some columns along this side. The nice thing about this method is if you wanted to, you could just do this. You know, you could space these, say 12 inches apart maybe, and then move this one and make it 12 inches, and copy this, and I don't know, I'm just going to put it in the center here. And voila. And then you could take a look and see if you like the look of that. So, you know, you could do something different. This is the nice thing about doing it manual. And so these are, what, 12 inches apart. So copy this one. Then make this 12 inches. And copy this and reflect it about. And then copy this again and put it in the center. Let's just find the center of the porch. And that was pretty close. Anyway, so you can take a look here. You got your busy column going on, all right? And I'm not saying this looks good, but I'm just showing you that when you do this all manual, it's not that time consuming and you get a little more customization. Now we want our beam, and I'm going to use a molding line to do this, but you could do it with a polyline solid. But the nice thing about doing it with a molding line is that you can add moldings to it. That's why they call it a molding line. So the first thing we're going to do is put it to 0. And I'm going to add one of my quick moldings here and make this 12 inches tall, 8 inches wide like our regular beam. And I'm actually going to put this height at 109.125. And I'm going to see how this looks on my section here. And it's okay, but see, I didn't compensate for the 4 inches, so the columns actually should have been 4 inches taller. So I don't know if I can group select and make them all taller. Yeah, I guess I can. And this is what you get when you do a custom, and I'm just kind of winging this. So I'm just going to put a 4 here and it'll add it automatically. There you go. And look at our section, and it looks good. All right. So I'm going to drag our section down here. And I am going to look at the plan view here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this molding to the center of the columns, and then I'm going to move it back 4 inches. Oh, 4 inches. Now it's in the center. So we know it's 8 inches wide, so grab it here, put it in the center, then move it to the left here, -4, and the same back here. To the center of the column, 4 more inches. Voila. Now the nice thing about this is if you just click on here, we can add some moldings. Now this right here is the porch ceiling, and it's a beaded ceiling, and of course it's out here, and I want to cover that so it looks like a soffit. So the first thing I'm going to do is add another one of these quickie moldings and make it, I don't know, 1 inch tall, 5 inches wide, and to the top I'm going to go -1, and then horizontally I am going to move it 8 inches. I'm guessing here. Let's just see where it goes. Yeah, looks good. So it went right here. I'm actually going to make it, I don't know, 4.875 and see if it, a little less than that. So in fact, I'm just going to make it like a regular molding, 3.5, and move it over 9. And maybe move it just a little bit more. All right, good enough. And add another molding. This time I'm going to add a crown mold. Let's just use our CA34 right out of the catalog. And I'm going to -1 here and 8. Oop, I forgot about that other molding I added, so it's actually -2. And if we take a look at this, you'll see it's coming together pretty nicely. I'm going to go to vector view so you can see it. So there's our little soffit we put in, and the crown mold and the beam, all on just using moldings. And let's put a roof on this and see what happens. So I'm going to use the Q key and get the outside edge of this invisible wall and drag this up and drag it over here and open it up, lock the pitch. I'm going to put the fascia at 120 just because I know it works real well. The freeze, I've already assigned that, and that's that one I created. And so let's just take a look at the section and see where that fell in. And see it's pretty good. This molding's actually going to bleed through maybe just a bit. So I think I will have to, well, let's just take a look first before I go to all this trouble. Yeah, it looks fine. It's working. So I'm not going to mess with it. So let's put another, go to over here, use our Q key, get this outer wall here, set the roof fascia to 120, lock the pitch, and drag it down a little. Use the 2 key and join these edges. Pull this over, pull this up, pull this one up, pull it over. I'll even do the same over here, put a roof to the center of this garage door. Click on this edge, enter -12, it'll take it out there, drag it back a little. Use the 2 key and join these two. Oh, they're not at the right. This one needs to be at 120. Lock the pitch. 120. 2. There you go. Reflect this roof around itself. And just take a look at this. And there you go. It's a pretty good porch for a quickie porch. And you could paint the trim however you want. And the other nice thing is inside here, you could hit like a mold. Oh, no, you could, no, molding line. Well, actually a molding polyline. And you could just, I got moldings that make it easier for me to show you what I want to do here in my molding profiles. Go to my crown. Here's a crown on a back band that I created. And to the top. Oh, sorry. Let's put this at 108 1/8. There you go. And then we can just drag this over to here. Drag this over to here. Use the 3 and break it right here. Drag this back, over. Over and over. Let's look at our section just to make sure. Yep, came in a good place. Let's look at this, and there you go. It looks pretty nice. You got a crown mold up inside there. You can easily just grab this white paint and then on the plan just paint everything that's bone. There you go. And there you go. And that's all manual, and it's fast and gives you some flexibility you don't have when you do it automatic. So hope that helps you guys. See ya.